In the quiet dawn of a dusty base in Afghanistan, Emily Carter woke to the soft hum of generators outside her tent. The air was dry and cool, carrying the faint scent of diesel and sand. She stretched her arms, feeling the ache from yesterday's long shift in the medical unit. Emily was 32, with short brown hair tucked under her cap and eyes that held a steady calm. Born in a small town in Ohio, she had joined the Army as a nurse 5 years ago, driven by a quiet need to help others. Her days were filled with bandaging wounds, checking vitals, and offering kind words to scared young soldiers. But often, she heard the whispers, "She's just a nurse." It stung a little, but Emily pushed it aside. She knew her work mattered, even if it didn't come with glory. The base was a sprawl of tents and barricades, nestled in a valley ringed by jagged mountains. Helicopters thumped overhead now and then, their rotors slicing the sky like distant thunder. Emily's routine was simple. She rose early, sipped black coffee from a metal mug, and walked to the aid station. There, under harsh fluorescent lights, she tended to the injured, sprained ankles from patrols, fevers from the heat, and sometimes worse, gunshot wounds that made her hands steady but her heart race. She worked alongside doctors and medics, her voice soft as she reassured patients. "You're gonna be okay," she'd say, her Midwestern accent warm like summer cornfields back home. One morning, as the sun climbed higher, Emily sat with Private Ramirez, a 19-year-old from Texas with a broken leg. He winced as she adjusted his splint. "Thanks, ma'am," he muttered. "You're good at this." She smiled faintly. "Just doing my job." But inside, Emily carried a secret. Before nursing school, she had learned to fly. Her dad, a crop duster in Ohio, had taught her on old biplanes. She even got her pilot's license. Dreaming of adventure, the Army knew about it. But they needed nurses more than pilots. So, she stayed grounded, her skills gathering dust like the sand on her boots. Life on base had its rhythms. Meals in the mess hall, where soldiers joked over trays of eggs and toast. Evenings brought card games or letters home. Emily wrote to her mom often, describing the stars that blanketed the night sky, brighter than anywhere else. But tension simmered beneath the calm. The enemy lurked in those mountains, insurgents with rifles and rockets. Patrols went out daily, and not all came back whole. Emily saw the toll: haunted eyes, missing limbs, silent grief. It was relatable, this weight of war. Everyone missed home, worried about tomorrow. For Emily, the problem was feeling invisible. Doctors gave orders, pilots flew missions. Nurses, they cleaned up the mess. Just a nurse, a cocky lieutenant had sneered once, dismissing her input on a patient's care. It echoed in her mind, a quiet ache. That afternoon, the base stirred with urgency. A radio crackled in the aid station. "Ambush on Patrol Delta, 12 wounded. Need evac now." Emily's heart skipped. The patrol was pinned down in a narrow valley 10 miles out, under heavy fire. Bullets pinged off rocks, explosions shook the ground. The soldiers needed help fast. Medevac helicopters to pull them out. But then, bad news. The primary pilots were grounded. One chopper down for maintenance. Another crew hit by food poisoning overnight. The backup team was on a distant mission. Command scrambled, voices rising in the ops tent. Emily overheard it all while prepping supplies. Colonel Hayes, a grizzled man with a mustache like steel wool, barked orders. "We need a bird in the air ASAP. Those boys won't last." A young sergeant shook his head. "Sir, no pilots available. We're stuck." Emily paused, her hands on a bandage roll. Her mind raced back to those Ohio skies, the feel of controls in her grip. She had trained on Blackhawks during basic simulators mostly, but enough to know the basics. It was a long shot, but those soldiers were bleeding out. She stepped forward, her voice steady. "Sir, I can fly." The tent fell quiet. Colonel Hayes turned, eyebrows raised. You're a nurse, Carter." She met his gaze. "Yes, sir, but I have my wings. Fixed wing mostly, but I know rotors." "Let me try." Whispers rippled through the group. "Just a nurse," someone muttered. But desperation won. Hayes nodded curtly. "Gear up, you're our only shot." Emily's pulse quickened as she suited up. The flight suit felt foreign, heavy with armor plates. She climbed into the Blackhawk's cockpit, the seat cool against her back. Co-pilot Sergeant Mills, a lanky guy from Georgia, eyed her nervously. "You sure about this, ma'am?" She nodded, flipping switches with deliberate care. The engines whined to life, rotors spinning faster until the chopper lifted off. Dust swirled below as they rose, the base shrinking to a patchwork of tents. The flight out was tense but smooth. Emily gripped the cyclic stick, feeling the bird respond. Mountains loomed ahead, their peaks etched against a fading blue sky. Radio chatter filled her headset. Hostiles everywhere, RPGs incoming. Her relatable fear bubbled up, had doubt in her skills, worry for the men below. What if she failed? But she breathed deep, focusing on the horizon. The valley appeared, a scar of rock and scrub. Smoke rose from craters, figures huddled behind boulders. Enemy fire cracked like fireworks. "Approaching LZ," Mills said, voice tight. Emily descended slowly, the chopper bucking in turbulence. Bullets whizzed past, pinging the hull. Her hands sweated on the controls. "Hold steady," she whispered to herself. The twist came gentle but firm. This wasn't just a flight. It was her moment to prove she was more. An RPG streaked by, exploding nearby. The blast shook them, alarms blaring. "We're hit," Mills yelled. Smoke trailed from the tail, but Emily kept calm. She banked left, dodging another burst. "Not today," she muttered. Ground fire intensified, tracers lighting the dusk. Emily spotted the soldiers, 12 of them, some dragging wounded comrades. Medics on board prepped stretchers. She hovered low, rotors whipping sand into a storm. "Go, go," she called. The team rappelled down, grabbing the injured under fire. Bullets sparked off the skids. Emily's mind flashed to her dad, his lessons: fly smart, not brave. She maneuvered the Blackhawk like a dancer, weaving through the chaos. One by one, the soldiers were loaded. Private Ramirez was there, his leg worse now, face pale. "You?" he gasped, recognizing her. She smiled through the cockpit glass. "Told you I'd help." The last man aboard. Emily pulled up. Enemy rounds chased them, but she climbed fast, banking toward safety. The chopper groaned from damage, but held. Stars emerged as night fell, a blanket of quiet after the storm. Back at base, they touched down softly. Medics rushed the wounded to the aid station, Emily among them now, helping carry stretchers. Colonel Hayes waited, his face etched with relief. "Carter, you saved them." All 12. Cheers rose from the crowd. Soldiers clapped her back, eyes wide with respect. No more just a nurse. She was a hero, her skills shining bright. In the quiet towers after, Emily sat outside her tent, staring at the mountains. The air cooled, crickets chirping softly. She thought of home, of simple days. The rescue had changed here, not with fanfare, but deep inside. She felt whole, her roles blended, healer and pilot, quiet strength and action. Letters home would tell the tale, but humbly. As dawn broke again, Emily rose, ready for whatever came. War was hard, but moments like this grounded her soul. She was Emily Carter, and that was enough.